Hello everybody, we are here in the Peoples Republic of Parkastopia, here with General Secretary Berzett.
Hello.
General Secretary Berzett, thank you so much for having me again.
No problem.
Great.
It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess first I'd like to start off by asking, how are things in the Peoples Republic?
Well, things are going all right. They're just going pretty much status quo right now. There's nothing really new happening here, but we are getting ready for next year. And next year we're hoping is going to be a more productive year for Parkastopia. In February, Parkastopia turns 1 year old.
Oh wow!
Thank you. And we're hoping that by February we'll have a little more infrastructure and everything. But we've laid out the basics this year. We've laid out a roadmap for the conceivable future of the country, at least in its current state. So. Otherwise, nothing new. How are things in Aeternia?
Very good, very good. We've grown our channel a little bit. Our online presence, absolutely. Thank you. And as well, we've set up a Discord, which has been something that allows people to kind of talk back and forth.
Right.
Not just with our own citizens, but also with people in other micronations.
Right.
And then finally, we've started to get a few citizens actually in location where we are.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to have that discourse and trying to grow things that we can do more in person has been a big help. But as well, I wanted to say before we get into things too heavily, I know with the upcoming celebration of the 1 year anniversary, as well as with, I don't know if Parkastopians celebrate Christmas very much, but I have sort of a joint gift. One to celebrate our alliance, and two to celebrate your 1 year anniversary.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's like a little, I know it's a Christmas star, but it does have something to do with Parkastopia, because Parkastopia is, its symbolism is heavy with stars.
Absolutely, absolutely. I noticed on your lapels and things.
Right. Yeah, the red or gold star, it doesn't really matter which, is a universal symbol of socialism. You see it in most every socialist country, be it China, the Soviet Union, North Korea, former socialist states like East Germany. The red star is always a staple of socialist countries, so I do appreciate this.
Absolutely, and like you so eloquently put in your speech, I'm really glad that we're able to celebrate our differences.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My coat is a little bit restrictive on my arm.
No, I understand.
The shoulder boards prevent me from going anywhere above, I think, like a 60 degree.
But still, the design makes up for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But I know we've talked a little bit in the months that we've been apart from each other. I know we've discussed quite a bit about potential plans for our alliance moving forward.
Right.
As well, potentially trying to get more economic with them, because dealing with the distance has been kind of difficult.
Right.
But as well, once we get through one of the other of these topics, I'd also like to talk about the upcoming event.
Yes, the Workers' Party Congress, I assume.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited to hear about everything and to learn more about the direction that Parkastopia is going in, so that we can start to tailor a joint effort.
Well, I would like to go ahead and get some things out of the way about the upcoming Workers' Party Congress. The direction that Parkastopia is moving is entirely dependent on the state of Parkastopia once it hits its 1 year anniversary, because if it turns out to be not as well put together, just in general everything, as we would like, we're going to have to make some changes in policy, perhaps change some things in the Constitution, which we haven't had anything added or removed or changed about the Constitution in a considerable amount of time. Seems at my father's home. Regardless, we just want to move forward with everything as productively as possible, and if it's not as productive as it can possibly be, we're just going to make changes, and we're not going to deviate from Marxism, I don't think, but we are going to be probably deviating from the original setup, which we already have because when Parkastopia was first established, we established it as a Marxist-Leninist state. That's what we listed it as officially. But now we have a new policy called Socialism with Parkastopian Characteristics, which is a derivative of Marxism-Leninism, but we've moved past the idea of said original Marxism-Leninism because we want to distance ourselves from things like the Soviet Union, which is what Parkastopia is most commonly compared to.
Absolutely. Interesting. So that being the case, sort of with not only restructuring the ideology and the governmental style, but also with branding yourself and identity, like you talked about with comparing yourself to the Soviet Union or trying to distance that comparison. What do you feel like are the defining characteristics that makes this change for Parkastopia?
I think the defining thing that makes the decision-making process about it in Parkastopia is the simple fact that Parkastopia was created on the idea of creating something genuinely unique and its own thing. And in the initial planning, we were somewhat hypocritical with it by using Soviet-style symbolism and things, which is typical with socialist countries. So we're not too concerned about that. But our main thing is just setting up an identity for ourselves as we initially intended, and our initial path was not the one that has turned out to be the best one.
Absolutely. And that is, I will say, very progressive of you to take those steps to change when you see there's action needed.
Thank you.
It's always good to respect tradition, but sometimes, especially as micronations, we have to find our own ways to adapt.
Mm-hmm.